Well, and how you doing there? Kevin McCullough, glad you're with us live from New York. We are just in the shadow of the Freedom Tower and just sitting in the just north of the historic Trinity Church, where the founding fathers like Alexander Hamilton and several others are buried. And every day I walk past that cemetery en route to the studio, and every day I'm reminded about what a great and honorable country we have been given. We've inherited. And really, it's up to us to see to it that it continues to thrive. Kevin McCullough is my name. My phone number is 888-589-8840. I'm always eager to have your input as we circle the globe in search of what's going on here at this point each day. And there is some stuff that you need to know about. There is there's a very almost mission accomplished kind of moment that we need to be celebrating today. This is how Fox News is reporting it. In what might be the death knell for the most controversial component of Obamacare, the individual mandate to buy insurance, the administration has now added a mega exemption that critics are saying will allow virtually anybody to skirt the rule. Now, I just want to stop right there. You remember that the entire philosophy for how this thing was going to be funded and paid for was going to be that you had everyone in America paying into it. That if you were buying your health insurance or you were paying the fine, you would be contributing to the situation in which you could then be rest assured that you would not only get coverage, but you would be allowing the Obamacare coverage to service other people as it goes about. Well, in what is a massive move by the administration, but one that is not being heralded, the economist Doug Holtz-Eakin tells Fox News the mandate which they said was absolutely crucial to Obamacare is now falling apart day by day. House Speaker John Boehner said the latest change made ahead of the March 31st enrollment deadline applies to essentially everyone. The most recent exemption appears to have been included last week in an application document. There had already been 13 distinct exemptions, but this document added one more. The document said that individuals can now qualify for a hardship exemption, meaning they would not have to pay a penalty for not buying insurance if they experienced another hardship in obtaining health insurance. Well, what could qualify as having a hardship in obtaining health insurance? Well, you get canceled by your current policy and you don't have the money to buy the new policy. That's one of them. Listen, America, here's what I need to know from you. Do you believe that this is in essence the death of Obamacare? Because there will be no enforcement. There will be no enforcement mechanism. There is no IRS penalty. There is nothing left attached to the legislation that makes it anything other than a piece of paper now. There's no penalty. And how did we get to the place where there was no penalty? We watched the executive of our nation do something that no executive has ever done before, and that is to just rewrite whole portions of his most significant law to date. In fact, the only thing that he really has accomplished is the passage of the Affordable Care Act. But when you issue a mandate that exempts everyone from it and you sold it on everyone paying into it, you have just undone what you had already done. Your thoughts on this, America? I want to know what you think. 888-589-8840. 888-589-8840. This news coming out this morning. The document does not define what another hardship means. So if I go to Taco Bell and I burp too much, I might have a hardship getting health insurance. Therefore, I am now no longer required to get health insurance. Seriously, that's how much of a definition they have applied to it. There is no enforcement mechanism. And that means and suggests that the administration will not have the ability to be a stickler when it comes to proof either. It says anyone seeking this exemption should submit documentation if possible. But aren't you grateful, America? Isn't this awesome? Isn't it fantastic that the administration totally destroyed, start to finish, ripped stem from stern, shredded as minutely as possible the entirety of the private health insurance industry? Isn't that fantastic? Isn't it awesome that we had private sector insurance and we destroyed it? We dropped nuclear bombs at the corner of every place private medical insurance existed. And thousands and millions of Americans lost their insurance policies, either through their employers, because the employer policies no longer carried the mandates that the Obamacare administration document said they had to carry, like mammograms for men, abortions for men, insanely ridiculous things that caused the entire insurance industry to implode and to completely be left in tatters. Aren't you grateful, America? Aren't you applauding this morning, this afternoon, whenever you're hearing this, that this is the time and place where we destroyed a sixth of our economy and one of the most important private sector industries that we have, and one of the industries that people come to our nation specifically to find. And we've completely destroyed it in every way that you can imagine. And what do we have now? Well, we were going to have the Affordable Care Act, and it was going to be enforceable because the Bolshevik in the White House said we were all going to, march in line, wear all gray, and all pay into it. Now, after exemption after exemption after exemption, first it was just for his friends. Then, because the political pressure was too much, he had to lighten the load. Then he privately said, well, we won't enforce this until 2016. That was just earlier this week. And now it's gone. It's gone. Obamacare is a piece of paper. It means nothing. And we destroyed private industry, private companies. We destroyed private business and jobs in the process of watching this take place. Stand up and give ourselves an ovation, America, because we have ruined people's lives and we don't even seem to care. I'm sorry. Kev, you sound really upset. It's gone. Everything he said that we had to have, because it was so important that if we didn't do it, that, things were going to, comets were going to burst into the world and we were going to be shattered into a million pieces. It was that critical that we passed this legislation. No, it wasn't that critical that we passed this legislation because we already had the best healthcare system in the world. Were there people that were not covered? Yes. Were there other people offering options on how we go about doing that didn't destroy the entire private industry? Yes. Senator Tom Coburn from Oklahoma, most notably among them, a surgeon, a doctor, someone who actually knows something about healthcare. And all through the entire process, from the jokesters that were in the smoke-filled back rooms, not putting it on C-SPAN like we were promised, not giving us the transparency that we were guaranteed in the election cycle. None of that. No. You know what we got? Well, we have to pass it so that we can read it and find out what's in it. That's what we got. And then we started reading through it and we're like, well, this is going to destroy private insurance. And after it became law, and after it became implemented, and after it started causing companies to lay people off, and after it started taking private individuals that had small personal policies, like my family, And we were denied coverage. We were told, nope, your policy, because it doesn't offer male mammograms and it doesn't offer abortion coverage for the men of your family. You have to end this policy. We got to do away with this policy, and now we have to make you pay $800 more a month just to cover your family for basically the same services. After all of that was done, after all the insurance companies were told that they had to rewrite all of their policies and their entire economic scales were completely decimated and started over again, now the geniuses in the White House, led by the president, but also this came largely from Ms. Pro-Abortion herself, Kathleen Sebelius. There's never been a greater champion for the killing of unborn children than Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius, unless it is perhaps the President of the United States, who happened to say that babies should be killed when they're outside the womb, not just inside the womb. After all of this and all the explanations and all the PR campaigns that we spent tax dollars to try to convince people of, after everything we've done, the president, with no constitutional right to do it, goes into his office, begins to write with his pen whole sections of the law completely over again, completely counter to the Constitution, and now he has exempted everyone in the nation with no proof necessary, and none of it even matters anymore. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Statists and people that don't believe in private industry and people that don't believe in religious freedoms and people that don't believe in exemptions on the basis of freedom of religion and all the rest of you. Thank you for messing up my country and my family's lives. No one has to buy it. No one has to pay a fine. No one has to do anything. You could go get a stack of copy paper from the office headquarters, and it would mean as much as what Obamacare does now, as of this moment. There's no there. Your calls, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. America, how do you feel about this? You've been exempted out. You're done. Obamacare is over. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Yeah, they're going to still go through the perfunctory tax increases and try to offer services and give you the option of getting online and going through that whole jungle of mazes and backroom portals and URLs and all the rest to try to get there and figure out something for your insurance. But now you don't have to. Now you don't have to. If you don't want to buy it, you don't have to. There's no penalty if you don't. We're not going to force the young people to buy the insurance to cover the old people, because that's how the whole shell game was set up. Make every kid over 18 years of age buy insurance to pay for every senior over the age of 60. The problem was the economics, even at that, still weren't working out completely, and none of the kids were buying it anyway. So, you know, there's nowhere to go. Your reaction. 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. Believe it or not, this isn't even the craziest story of the news day. Yes, we've got one that tops this one. And I will get to that before we're done today, I promise. But I want to take your calls next. 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. I'm Kevin McCullough. I'm pretty excited today, not for the wrong reasons. I'm in anguish, guys. What's happening to our country? It's gone. Thank God Jesus is still Lord.